Year 10, welcome to St Christopher's. We've really missed you over these last few weeks, and as you can see, this empty hall doesn't reflect the normal busy school that you're used to. And coming back to school, getting used to a new normal, is something that we want to help you to do. That's going to start next week, next Monday, when some of you are going to come back for the first time since March. We're really looking forward to it. We've worked really hard to get it right. And in this short video, we're going to explain to you what it is that we're expecting will happen when you arrive during the school day, and how you're going to leave the school at the end of the day safely, ready for your next visit to us.
Hi Year 10, I'm just putting the finishing touches to what your timetable's going to look like when you come back to us next week. Just to explain a few things. First of all, you'll have heard them talk in the media, talk about groups as bubbles. So we know from the government that first of all, we have to split you into approximately 25% of the year group. That equates to 50 pupils. So that was the first thing we had to work out. The second thing that we had to decide then was to what size groups we needed. Now, because of our classrooms, what we've decided was within that 50, we've got 4 groups of pupils, and no group will be bigger than 15. This has been determined by the size of the classrooms we've got to make sure that the classrooms are separated and you will be sitting 2 metres apart within a room. So what will those groupings look like? So once we've got your 50, that we then had the 4. Most of you will find that you are generally in the group with the pupils you normally learn with from your core subjects. So you'll find that there will be a mix, for example, of X1 and X2 in the day that you're in. You'll also notice that you've been given a letter. So we've split the groups on each day into 4 and we've labelled them A, B, C and D. You'll also notice there's a number with that letter. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1 is Monday, 2 is Tuesday. You can work out the rest yourselves. So you'll be given that group name, and that's the group you're going to be with all the time that we're in school, firstly for the first 2 weeks. You'll also be assigned your own toilet. So there will be toilets for group A, there'll be toilets for group B. The reason we've done this is that we want to be able to clean those toilets thoroughly at the end of a day and know that only a certain amount of pupils have used those toilets. So when you arrive at school, you will have been told that you have a particular entrance to use. We've chosen 4 clear areas in school, and it is really important you use those entrances. This is because we want to reduce potential mixing of people. So the 4 entrances we've chosen, we've got the science entrance, which is that outside door along by the cemetery wall. Some of you will use the main entrance. Some of you will use the dining room door. Now that's Mrs. Gerard's classroom. It's got that door that leads to the outside, so some of you will come in that way. Or finally, some of you will come into the Cocker courtyard via the big gate. They're the 4 areas, and if you've been assigned one of those, you must use those when you arrive with us in the morning. Finally, what's going to happen at break and lunch? Well, you are still going to be in your mini bubbles at break and lunchtime. So again, on your letter, it will be really clear to you. You'll have been assigned one of the 4 areas. So it could be you're in the veranda, you might be in the Cocker courtyard, or you might be on one of the 2 different areas that we have outside on the main yard. And it's really important you stick with those groups, because certainly in these first early days, we have to keep you as safe as we possibly can. Hi Year 10, so as you know, you're going to be put into your bubbles within your bigger bubble, and you will be given an entrance that you need to come into school. Here you can see I'm in the science block, so some of you will be entering through the science door, and when you arrive, you can see here we've got a table, we've got our wipes, we've got a bin, we've got tissues, we've got everything you're going to need to make sure that when you come into school you can clean your hands, and then we can move into the first part of the day, which is going to the hall. You will meet an SMT member who will be really pleased to see you. They'll register you, and then we can begin the day. And as you can see now, here we are in the main hall, and doesn't it look so different to normal? You can see we've got this set up for the 50 pupils who are in each bubble. And in the first week you're back, on the first day, you will come in and we will give you a brief assembly. That's our opportunity to tell you about how school's going to work, some of the expectations that we have of you, and then we can get you started on the day. So here we are in Mrs. Wareham's room, room 4 on the MFL corridor. And what we've done in these rooms, and all the rooms will look very similar, is they've all been set up for a maximum of 15 pupils at any one time, which means that we can make sure we get your 2 metres apart from each other. Every room will have hand sanitisers, and I'd just like you to introduce you to these very special bins. So these are the bins for tissues. Tissues only. So if you sneeze, you can use one of our tissues, but please use these bins and make sure that those tissues are put away. You'll also see when you come into the room that each desk is labelled. When you get your letter, it will say what number desk you're to sit at. Again, that's to make sure we know who sat where and keep you all as safe as possible.
So that's it. We hope that this video has really helped and that you're clear about what it is that you have to do next week to make this new initiative as successful as it possibly can be. Over the next coming days, make sure that all of that online work is ready in the core subjects so that you're ready to get the best from your time at St. Christopher's.